is your life on your planet has very little to do with physicality in terms of suffering or not. There is a plan, a divine plan for humanity, of which quite a number of souls on your planet who on a physical level may appear and indeed are suffering. But there is purpose behind that. And a number of the people who place themselves in such incarnated positions are also somewhat masterful at having their consciousness spread across multiple dimensions. So in other words, their physical body is such that they only require an adequate physical housing for their consciousness to be here in its full form for what you may consider more fleeting moments. And then their soul is sojourning more into what you may consider more an astral field. It is a little bit akin to you daydreaming, but in this daydream state, there is much that is being accomplished for the configuration of the human soul on a spiritual level. Yes, there is discomfort, and yes, there is what you may consider and interpret to be premature death in your life. But this is where, on a spiritual level, the definition of a physical death is really illusionary, because the question here is the journey of the eternal soul and its development able to house more fully its divine spirit and its divine self. And the undertakings that some of these souls take upon the earth is no different to the pathways that some of your human beings take in putting themselves into a boxing ring or into a fighting ring and absorbing unnecessarily physical punishment. It is a test as such of their mettle, a test of such as their discipline as a spiritual being, pushing certain boundaries, creating certain zones of discomfort to test this eternal nature of soul and spirit. And what we want to try and put across here, particularly with that analogy, that these people, for example, who place themselves into the battle arenas, physical fight arenas, many of them are actually from a higher level working on aspects of their soul strength and their spiritual strength, which they can then in turn apply into spiritual and soul disciplines on other dimensional realities and existences. Earth is somewhat a gymnasium, a strengthening world, a fortification place where some souls will incarnate, often repeatedly, but then often having sojourns into other places in not just the galaxy, but spiritual worlds. And when you take yourself out of the physical timeline of Earth, their existence here is really just a blink of fleeting consciousness. Things look very different from the other side of the physical veil. But we do say that with respect, and we do learn from you increasing empathy from the plight of life upon earth, and our deepest respects to each and every one of you for undertaking such a journey.